Let's be completely honest, the Russia-Ukraine crisis has shed a massive light on just how much our society loves oil. I mean, back in 2020, folks like Cathie Wood were predicting crude oil prices would stay pinned under $12 a barrel after prices literally went negative for a few days. But now with WTI crude trading at well over $120 a barrel, it's become clear that due to just how scarce oil is, countries are going to have to either take costly oil production into their own hands or invest heavily into larger scale clean energy technologies. Even Elon Musk himself has admitted that current energy solutions just aren't enough to support a big rise in oil prices, which should clearly emphasize just how much work still has to be done to decarbonize our society. And so in this video, I'll be going down the rabbit hole and sharing the critical role a company like Nikola Motors will play in this decarbonization race and the big opportunity much of Wall Street is still ignoring when it comes to Nikola's hydrogen strategy and its role in helping decarbonize the United States. But before we get into it, guys, make sure to drop me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's start off by addressing the big elephant in the room, which is the fact that we are officially starting to ban Russian oil imports in the United States. Shell and BP have already said that they're not going to be importing any more crude oil from Russia, which is by far one of the world's largest crude oil exporters and accounts for around 8% of the global energy supply. And it's absolutely no surprise that clean energy stocks are finally starting to take off because of this news, because obviously when oil is become a scarce resource, it creates a lot of demand for renewable energy and clean energy resources like hydrogen and batteries. And as somebody who works in the energy industry, I can assure you that clean energy is by far the biggest investment opportunity of this decade, and stocks like these are bound to succeed if they execute properly and as their total addressable market continues to grow. But what the opinions outcasted by people like Elon Musk have really showed is that our country right now is not ready to fully transition to a clean energy infrastructure, and that we still need to continue producing oil to keep up with the insane demand of energy in our modern lives. And so when folks like Cathie Wood say that oil demand is going to be crushed because of rising EVs, it just goes to show that not everybody has done their full research into this very, very big industry. Oil is not only used to power our cars, but it's used to heat our homes, it's used to power electricity generators, and it's used for many industrial processes like steel, glass, and commercial manufacturing. And so if renewables are going to be the only solution that's going to help solve our decarbonization problems, then why are prices of crude oil going through the roof? And the answer to that question is much simpler than many people actually think. And that's the fact that our problem is not renewable production, but it's renewable storage. As you guys can see, the cost of solar and wind energy have fallen dramatically over the past 20 years. And all of a sudden, we are seeing a massive demand for renewable energy projects like solar farms, offshore wind farms, and decentralized residential projects. And if all it would take to power the entire United States from renewable energy would be a solar panel farm that's around 21,000 square miles, or around this much of the size of Arizona, then why exactly are we still so far away from transitioning to a fully renewable electric grid? And the answer to that is very simple, and that's the fact that we don't have enough long-term energy storage in our electric infrastructure today. Long-term energy storage is essentially the ability to store energy for multiple days or multiple weeks, which is something that batteries right now simply can't do. As you guys can see, the cost of storage using a battery, if you're storing energy for anything over 8 hours, is a significant increase when compared to a technology like hydrogen. And so to increase the US's energy security and reduce our dependence on foreign imports, even for Europe, we need to invest in long-term energy storage technologies like hydrogen, and that is exactly what's going to unlock our ability to transition to a fully renewable grid. The problem is by far not the production of renewable energy, but rather getting that renewable energy to the right people at the right time at the right place. And so why exactly is a company like Nikola getting ready to take advantage of this through its hydrogen and its battery programs? And that's because Nikola is targeting a two-pronged strategy where not only are they developing fuel cell trucks that can run on hydrogen and create a market for hydrogen fuel, but they're also investing in the back-end infrastructure to support these trucks. And this chicken and egg problem is exactly why hydrogen technologies have taken so long to get to commercial market ready stages. Because if a company sells and builds fuel cell trucks and there is no infrastructure to support it, then the demand for those trucks by the market is not going to be that high even if the carbon emissions are very low. And the same thing goes for the back-end infrastructure. If you design a company that solely sells hydrogen refilling stations, if there's no demand for products on the road that run on that technology, then that business is not going to succeed. And so what Nikola is doing is they're targeting both of these businesses at the same time. And although it's going to take time and a lot of capital, it is a very successful recipe for some explosive growth over the next decade. And obviously, since the current administration is laser focused on getting emitting trucks and cars off the road, there is a huge tailwind that a company like Nikola is going to be experiencing, especially since they're selling these trucks in a market where right now there is no production ready competition. And since the government itself realizes that to achieve a fully renewable electric grid, we need to invest in clean hydrogen, they've already set up multi-billion-dollar investment programs for regional hubs, electrolysis programs, and manufacturing research. And since Nikola's energy business is already investing heavily in a green hydrogen hub and a production station through its partners like NEL, there is an ever-growing total addressable market for Nikola over the next couple of years, as not only are they going to be selling hydrogen through cheap resources like renewable energy, but they're also going to be working hard in the development of fuel cell trucks that are going to create a lot of demand for that hydrogen fuel. And for those who still don't understand the full potential of hydrogen and how exactly it's going to play into our infrastructure, this right here should really clear up a lot of the confusion. As you guys can see, hydrogen is not a competing technology to batteries. Batteries right now are only a form of conventional storage, whereas hydrogen gas is actually used in a lot of different processes and industrial systems. Hydrogen is used to make ammonia, fertilizers, and refine a lot of metals, and it's also used in the production of steel and glass. And so when Nikola is producing low carbon hydrogen through its investments like the WVR in Indiana, there's already going to be a very massive demand for that specific kind of hydrogen. And so as the cost of renewables and potentially even natural gas start falling as we get more and more supply online to the crisis we're seeing right now, there's going to be a massive demand for hydrogen projects like this one that Nikola is supporting. And this global hydrogen demand doesn't even take into account the fact that you can produce synthetic fuels from green hydrogen that you make through electrolysis. What this essentially means is that you can make renewable natural gas like diesel or even gasoline from solar panels using hydrogen. And these kinds of applications are exactly what hydrogen allows us to unlock, which is why investing in hydrogen companies that are making a difference is exactly what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of years. And although very high risk, Nikola Motors is going to be one of those key players in my opinion. As for some of the big catalysts that are coming up for Nikola in the short term, the main ones I'm watching are the Analyst and Investor Day that is expected to happen on March 24th, and obviously the very significant delivery and production ramp up that is expected to start on March 16th. And with Nikola stock leading the way for a lot of clean energy stocks in the market today after Biden gave his address, I'm very confident that there's going to be a lot of exciting things in store for this company this year. But anyways guys, make sure to drop me a thumbs up if you found some value from this video. Let me know down in the comment section below your guys' thoughts on hydrogen and Nikola's critical role in this very growing industry. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.